Ekse, shap, fede, what's going on? Your boy Malomes YouTube, and welcome back to Malomes Mic. Number one, I'm so sorry about my voice, guys. The previous episode with Gugu, I got a bit too excited, man.
You were screaming.
I was screaming. I was venting, and I was just a lot was happening. But today we got a brand new podcast. We got Malomes Mic, and we've got a really cool guest today. Before I even intro you guys, I want to explain to you guys how I found out about Una Rap. It wasn't even from one of our boys, Tron. So my ex-girlfriend was like a huge fan of Una.
Yeah.
She speak about Una and Muzi every day. And obviously, as a bro, I'm there like, what do you think has got that I don't got, bro? Who is this? Like, hey, Una Raps. I actually met Una. Oh, it's not gonna be there. Then there was a day I was like, you know what? We were meeting up with Tron.
Yeah.
And then Una was there. And I was like, yo, baby, here's
I get
Una.
it. Here's your man.
Like, and I was just there like, yo, what's up, Una? Nice to meet you. But today we got Una Rams on the conversation. As you guys know, we bring in guests, but we don't make the interview about them. We're trying to show you guys their perspective of how they feel about our views.
Yeah.
In our conversations, which is really cool. But yeah, man, we've got someone that has done such crazy things. Una Rams is an award-winning musician. Huge.
You forgot the Grammy
Yeah.
part.
Yeah?
You forgot the Grammy part.
No, you gotta say Grammy.
You got the gra-gra. You got the gra-gra.
And I know I want evening. Doesn't scream out Grammy.
Yeah, but Una's a superstar, guys. We all love his music. I remember us being in university and just chilling in my apartment and just jamming Una only.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking about as you speaking?
Yeah.
I want me some more money.
Oh, God.
Money.
I used to love that jam. That was the first jam I've ever. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah. And today's a cool conversation. We're speaking about how university, how high school, how the education system has basically shaped us as human beings today. And the cool thing is that we all come from the University of Pretoria.
Yeah.
We've got a pretty similar story, but our high schools changed a little bit. A little bit similar.
How did you introduce the topic?
Different. I said we're speaking about how the education system has shaped us today.
Oh, there you go again. How did school shape you as a person?
Yeah,
Not
shape us
necessarily
today.
the education. I want the whole environment.
Yeah, because like I'm gonna start with the degrees this time. Matladi is
I do have a degree.
yeah, he's got a degree.
I like how he says surprises everybody here.
Yeah.
I am. Hey, shout out to COVID degrees.
So Matladi studied commerce, but then he's in real estate.
Yeah, but mention that I did engineering for 2 years.
He did engineering for 2 years.
Yeah,
Absolutely dribbled him. And then he moved to commerce.
Yeah.
And then
Dribbled me too.
now he's in real estate. I did engineering, and now I'm in entertainment. Una studied, what did you say? He said BCom.
Computer
science.
Sir.
Computer science.
Computer science.
What's wrong with the BCom, Una?
Hey man, I'm just saying. On my name.
So he did computer science, huge, and then he is literally in the entertainment space too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lou?
Oh, I did industrial engineering.
Is that a real?
What are you?
Yeah, I just did
Is industrial engineering real engineering?
Oh no, that's the realist it gets.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
What
it's-
is industrial engineering? Just by the way.
Industrial engineering is problem solving. It's problem solving across any industry. So we deal with efficiency improvements, continuous improvement, that whole any system, any operational environment. You
Yeah.
improve those.
And you discovered this how?
Also, the degree teaches you how to make the degree sound lit as well.
No.
Oh, now
You guys
it's
were
one of
in
our classes. Like so, guys.
If you ask,
If you are ever, you know what's crazy? The whole of third year, every class you go to, so everybody wants to understand what industrial engineering is.
Yeah.
So this is what you say.
Facts. Una, are you actually working using your degree now?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit of a Hannah Montana situation.
Yeah. Cyrus boys.
Yeah, I'll be coding during the day, and then at night it's either studio or a show or something. Or like, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
and
dope.
I've never actually met someone that does both.
Yeah.
And
How
I'm
do
actually,
you?
it's actually that's so mean for me to say because Lucas and Matladi are doing both.
We are here. We are here right now recording.
Yeah.
No, but it's obviously there's an element of I would consider your music full time. You're a full time artist, and you also have a job.
Yeah.
How does one balance that? Where do you start? When does Una Rams come on?
Yeah, like I think it's been quite a whirlwind.
Yeah.
It's tested a lot of my patience and willpower.
Yeah.
And requires some discipline. I think obviously like the job's there and it fulfills a part of me, but at the end of the day, my heart's somewhere else, and it's like the minute I'm set free and I can like just do me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the music's what I'm running to.
That's
Why
beautiful.
do you keep both if one calls you so much more than the other?
We have to make it make sense, man. We're in South Africa right now.
Making ends meet.
Yeah. So of course, like the music's been generating some income.
Yeah.
But it's not enough to sustain the lifestyle I have. I have expenses.
It all boils down to my taste expensive.
Hey, it's bad. So yeah, I'm just trying to like level it, play it smart, and like exit when it makes sense for me.
Yeah, and Lev was speaking about this earlier. My brother was saying that like he read somewhere or he heard somewhere that like if you're really smart in South Africa, you get a job, you do your job, don't get a promotion.
Yeah.
Do whatever you're doing, don't get a promotion. Work at that level that you're working at, and then do your passions. Because you know you got that steady income coming month to month.
Yeah.
You know what you can do. You know how you can operate that. You're giving them 20%, then your 80% is going towards your passion or your businesses or your side hustles. So I kind of see what you're doing. And then once you obviously get to the point where you don't need that sustainability for the car and for the apartment and everything, you drop, and then from there you go full time in your passion.
Yeah, I think it boils down to leveraging on your strengths.
Yeah.
Like if you know you are good at like some academic stuff that could get you a job, capitalize. And while you do whatever you're passionate about, but don't sleep on the fact that you can be productive in both departments.
Yeah. Which your story is also like a little bit different because like you were in the commerce space, but now he says he sells dreams. What do you say?
Improve lives.
He improves lives.
Improve lives.
What from your degree or from high school do you think has like given you knowledge to improve lives?
So when I decided to go to BCom, I was still trying to figure out what I want to do. Then I realized that I'm one of those guys that enjoy doing multiple things. So I tried to do a degree that offered me the opportunity to do as many things as I can. So I use my degree every day. So it's a thing of like, okay, it's not really the things that I plan to do, but because I have an opportunity, I want to be useful, like I said in the previous episode. So anything where I feel useful, I enjoy. So I use my degree in that regard. Unfortunately, I believe that I'm not as skilled as I wanted to be in terms of talents and all those things. I don't have a passion project, but I want to be useful. That's my desire and goals every day when I wake up. So going to school shaped that. So I feel very fortunate in the sense that I've been given an opportunity to be in a career that allows me to work with people. It allows me to actually, when I say improve lives, I actually mean it. It's not a joke. Like you're moving from one thing.
That is him saying it's Thato be making
It's not a joke.
Grab my shoulder and say, hey,
Don't play on my career.
I'm not joking, bro.
Yeah, but it's also a lot of luck involved. But school helped to answer this question.
You need to stop. You keep doing that. You keep saying that. It's not luck, bro. I think you're where you're at because of all the things you've been doing throughout high school, primary school, and university. Your friendships, the way you behave within friendships, the way you behave within relationships.
Like, I kind of agree, but there's to a degree, at some extent, like
of luck.
There is.
So there's homies that work way harder than I do.
But do they work as smart as you though?
That doesn't matter. The fact that they work, there's homies that do manual labor. That's real hard work, but they're not as rewarded as I am.
Okay. Yeah. Where do you feel like you've been lucky? Because you're saying you agree with the luck thing.
There's so many moments in my life that I just felt like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
You know, like, for instance, even meeting Coffee.
Yeah.
He was just booked at a show called Wild
that's Black
Explosion
Coffee.
back home.
For clarity.
But we're both for the same show.
Yeah.
By chance, somehow, the car he's being escorted by is playing some music. It's on shuffle. My song comes on. He's like,
That's
whoa,
crazy.
who's this kid? The guy that's driving happens to know me, right? He's like, oh, no, he's a kid from around here. Like, he's really dope. Like, Coffee's like, yeah, like, I need to meet him. I was already done at the show. Like, it was 5 a.m. in the morning. I had to go to church. But I get a call as I'm just about to leave the car that was taking me home. I'm like, yo, come back to the show. I'm like, it's 5. They're like, Coffee wants to meet you. I'm like, okay. Dip right back in. We had a nice chat. And then fast forward a couple of months, I'm with Espacio Dios. We're doing a shoot for this magazine. We end up at a Nati's house.
Yeah.
Because Espacio was
That
they were
time.
boys and whatnot. And
Yeah.
so cool. We're there, and I'm trying to text my girlfriend at the time. Yo, I've been with Espacio all day because she knew how much of a fan I was.
Yeah.
By mistake, I text Coffee. And then he's just like, yo, that's dope. Let's make a song.
Whoa, what are the odds?
We do that, and then one night, we're at a cinema, had popcorn. I think I had too much salt in it. And me and home go get in a fight. So I'm just like, yo, I know you're mad, but take me to the studio real quick. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
But we're still fighting. We get to the studio, make a song, and already I knew I wanted to take it.
Yeah.
Takes it to the coffee. Next day, he's texting back 5 emojis going, bro,
Yeah.
this tune, literally 3 years later, song gets released on his album. And a year later after that, like,
Huge.
he wins a Grammy.
That's crazy.
Huge.
So
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That is,
Luck.
there's
dope
luck.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think it's, for me at least, it's way more simple than that. The fact that you were born in this country,
Yeah.
there's some luck to it. The fact that you had the opportunities you had when you went to school, that's nothing of your doing. You didn't choose your parents. So I can't take credit for that. I can't say I work hard. Yeah, I'm a genius, and I do believe I'm a genius, by the way. just say, but I think it takes away from everything that everybody else has contributed towards me.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
No, continue.
I hear what you guys are saying and I understand it. I have a different stance on what luck is. I feel like luck, yes, it's valid to use the phrase. I just feel like it's more of things you can't really articulate how you ended up in that position.
Sure.
Because we can always trace back to how this happened or what happened. That would have never happened if you didn't record the track, for example.
Yeah. True.
That wouldn't have happened. There's so many things. It's just a coincidence that they align that perfectly. But there were actions and instances that led up to that moment. It wasn't completely random.
Yeah.
Well, existence might be, but that moment wasn't, because there were things that happened
Yeah.
to lead to that moment. But we don't want to go and express all those things and try
hard.
to nitpick how it happened to end up in that position. So the best way to articulate it, like, oh, that's a lucky outcome. Like, that's a lucky.
Do you believe in luck?
I believe in luck in the sense of it's preparation meets an opportunity.
Okay.
Like, if I'm somewhat prepared for something and I'm granted an opportunity, I would only be able to take advantage of that because I'm prepared for it. And I'll be lucky
Feel you.
in that sense.
But I feel like once that, like, the sphere of decision is outside your own control,
Yeah.
there's something else at play. Like, even how you guys met and became such close friends.
Nothing in our control.
You didn't plan that. Like, you didn't go, yeah, today.
Oh, no, fully.
You know, but you guys came through. You probably decided where to sit in class and by chance, like, start a conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, it is different. There's like just a sprinkle of
something.
possibilities.
Yeah.
But then things just happen. It's like chaos, but arranged chaos.
You do have to be prepared.
Yeah.
It's not gonna just happen. Yeah, you don't wanna go get lucky your whole life. It's like every day you wake up and you have a job. Next thing you go outside, you get a girlfriend.
And you walk out and you get a Ferrari.
How do you guys actually feel about like failure in university and how it shaped you now? Because I know
Yo.
your academic record, and I know your academic record too. I don't know if Una flew at UP or if there were any hiccups, but I know these guys' academic record, and there was a lot of failure, including myself.
Yo.
Put me on blast.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel like failure has shaped you like to this day? I want to start with you. Now I want to start with
Okay,
you.
for me,
Because you did the most failing.
I did the most amount of learning.
Yeah, also,
So
It's not a loss, it's a lesson.
University is so tricky because also no one is ever prepared for that. I came from high school, the laziest kid you will ever meet. Didn't fail anything. In fact, so I did way better than I should have. I got to varsity.
You take credit for nothing.
Bro. I remember I got to varsity and I'm sure you guys can relate. I think it was our first semester test. When I was still doing engineering, I do have to mention that again. So we do that. I remember it was a physics exam. For the first time in my life, I literally put in effort and then I failed.
Yeah.
And then for the first time, I had to, how do you react after this? And I think people will give you advice. People will tell you not what to do, but the only way to learn of it is through the experience itself. And because I feel like I failed multiple times, I feel I handle failure a little bit better now. I'm not as disappointed as I used to be. So school is expensive, but the lessons you learn are kind of they're worth it. So
Yeah,
to answer your question,
how do you guys feel about failure?
I
How's
feel
it
like
affecting you now. in life?
failure has shaped the person I am today. Because I don't think I would have learned as much as I did had I breezed through life.
yeah.
Because coming from for example, coming from high school, actually similar to yours, I was laid back. I was very laid back. I didn't have to try much to get by in high school. I really didn't even take high school serious for like the first 2 years or so. And then I got to a point where I met a maths teacher who taught it in such a way that he made you feel like you didn't know things for not knowing things.
Luck.
Well, if you want to call it that.
Sounds like you didn't.
No, but I was
teacher.
okay. But we're not gonna go into that. But nonetheless, so in that instance, he taught me the things I don't know, and I will never know them until I applied myself.
Yeah.
And that started off a chain reaction for me to apply myself and me be more conscious of learning things I don't know rather than trying to relay things I know. And when I got to varsity, speaking of physics, I think that was our first wake-up call when we got to varsity, first semester.
It's called FSK 116.
Yeah.
116.
I think first time I experienced failure academically was first year in university. That's when I realized that you can't breeze through this. It's not willy-nilly. You can't. The amount of effort you put in equates to the results you get.
Yeah.
And I learned that if you don't put in the work, you will fail.
Yeah.
And that has been something that I've seen throughout life.
Yeah.
Can't get away with it.
Have you tasted failure, Una?
Of course. It doesn't compromise and it doesn't like say, nah, you're clean. Like, but it's a bit different for me. I came out of high school like straight A student, a nerd, like top 10 the whole way.
Yeah.
Got to varsity, first year was a breeze. So I'm listening to you guys like, damn.
Which first year you
But I get to, I think it's all the way up to third year where I failed my first module. And that was just like, yo.
Wait, so the first time you experienced failing in varsity?
Failing in
third year?
school, yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's the same as a level, actually. How was
That's
that for you?
crazy.
Because I know my brother, that was devastating to
It's
him.
crazy, man. Like it's changing your whole paradigm on who you are, your self-image. Because all along you've known yourself and you've been known as this, pretty much successful student.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where you're challenged so much, you're just like, I do not know what's happening.
Yeah.
The world kind of turns upside down for you. But in that moment, it kind of took me back to high school where I didn't get the marks I wanted to get for maths. And that was my favorite subject. Yeah, I'm really letting it out that I'm a nerd. But instead of just sitting and sulking, I was like, you know what? It's cool. This is just an indicator that you do not know as much as you thought you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And instead of just getting sad the whole time, my response to failure has been anger.
Yeah.
But it has to be directed back at the thing that I failed at. And it might not be the healthiest way to deal with something, but at least it allows me to pick myself up and just, carry on moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanna ask a follow-up question on what this conversation. How have you guys learned to deal with failure? Like, you experienced it, yes, but now how do you then deal with it?
You want to start with
In the
me
same
again?
order. Let's do it in the same order.
Disappointment will always be disappointment. And whether you're dealing with it or not, you will feel it.
Yeah.
I think now it's the principle of how long do you let it affect you? Yeah. And do you tie yourself down? Does the failure define you? And I think I try not to. And there's seasons where you can go for months and you did one bad thing or you failed at one task and you let it represent you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate, but I think when you do have the ability to, and I'm so envious of people that can do that. It's people that fail and move on immediately.
Yeah.
And I think that's a talent in itself. So I think I just need to nurture that. I need to be it's patience, because sometimes you didn't fail. It didn't happen in the time it should have happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
There's that reality.
failure is tricky and it's scary. It's I don't want to fail.
Yeah.
You?
With me personally, I've never believed in the education system. I don't believe in it.
Let me just put it out there.
So like when I failed, I was always there like, it's because you guys aren't asking me the way I can like express myself.
Yeah.
So for me, failure, and I can say this because I failed a lot. For me, failure never really affected me. It was just a thing of, okay, cool, you don't know how to answer these questions the way they want you to answer these questions.
Yeah.
And then because I failed so much, I learned that failure doesn't come once or twice. Like, failure is a part of life.
Yeah.
What?
So I think I just accepted that like failure's gonna come to me today. It might not be there for 3 months. It's gonna come to me again.
Yeah.
But what matters is that like if I move from that failure and move to the next thing, which is success, I can keep going.
Yeah.
So like I just accepted that like failure is not a once-off thing. It's
So you
I'm
kind of
gonna
like-
fail tomorrow probably. I failed today. Today I failed to deliver to a client, and I had to basically drop them because of other things. So I failed today. Yeah.
I really like that outlook.
Yeah.
It's how you view things, and I think that's very important.
And then you?
Man, what do they say in business? Fail quickly and fail early or something. Something like
Yeah,
that.
fail fast.
Yeah.
So
Fail
fast.
Yeah.
Fail fast.
But you fail forward.
Go forward.
I've had a lot of failures even in my musical career, and I think that one hurts worse because it's like it's not anything anyone else has set out for you. It's what you're setting out for yourself.
Yeah. So
And
it hurts the most.
it's outside of the limelight, you know, and there's no fans to cheer you. There's no one. It's just you, one man. So it's dealing with you. And I used to just shut myself out, like not want to see the world, not want to really talk about it with anyone else. I felt like I'd be the only one to deal with it.
Yeah.
For the longest time until I had to say, yo, I'm surrounded by beautiful people who love and care for me, and had to start learning how to accept that support in that time. But also realizing that it is human nature. We're not going to be perfect. And there is a beauty in it because in all those times, like, you know, it took a dip, we bounced back even harder.
I think that you touched on something important as far as support, because I think for so long because I also fall victim in this idea of accountability. Like I take accountability for my actions completely. Like if I fail, I'm to blame. If I'm succeeding, I'm to blame. I want to share that I did my part to get this outcome.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's good or bad. If it's bad, I will fix it. But that kind of, for the longest time, would hinder asking for help or support from people around you, because we are so... It's all me. I failed. I'm going through a lot. I'm going through that you forget that there are people who are rooting for you, and there are people that want you to succeed that you can like fall back on and be like, hey, I failed. Actually, it even comes down to like Sgela, where the first time I went for a consultation session, because I had never... For me, my consultation hours are this time and that time. Who needs that?
You put niggas on with that.
I'm like, consultation for who? And then I had chemistry, and I was catching hands. But I needed to pass this because it would have delayed my progress. And I'm like, what do I do? Because I'm trying my best and I'm not succeeding. I'm not understanding what's going on. And I'm like, actually, let me try this consultation thing and ask for help for once.
Yeah.
And I finally did that, and it enlightened me so much because I killed that module afterwards. And that was just one session sitting with that lecture, and she was like, this is what we're trying to get from you. This is what you should achieve, blah, 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 blah. All that information that I would have otherwise not have known unless if I asked for help. And that I've tried to keep in the back of my head, that if I'm failing and I feel helpless, there's probably somebody somewhere who probably can help breach this gap that I can't cross over. So it's very important. I feel like it's very important to look around you and say, don't just look at failure as something you need to fix on your own. That you can have people help you and give you advice or some their 2 cents or maybe a different perspective. Remember how many times we talk about having different perspectives on things?
Yeah, facts.
It's crazy.
It's like, as you guys are speaking about school, I'm thinking about like the academic year starting in Jan, Feb.
Yeah.
I want to say, like, everyone listens to the podcast. Like, I'm hoping everybody, like, which camera I'm looking at? That one. I'm hoping everybody.
These are different problems.
I'm hoping everybody, like, obviously goes to Sgela, goes to class, tries their best, and passes. But if you fail, I know, like, a lot of us, in our first semester of failing, we were all so embarrassed of failing.
Yeah.
We were so scared
Yeah.
to speak to our peers that we failed. And it put us in a certain mindset that wasn't necessarily nice. Like, some people can have the worst thoughts, some people don't care. But, like, when you're in that state, don't be scared to reach out to a friend and tell your friend that, yo, listen, I know you passed, but I failed. And I want to know what you did to pass. And then you'll hear someone like Lucas say, yo, you should go and consult. Like with me, I struggled through university. I only passed because of Lucas, because I was always consulting with Lucas. Because Lucas was doing the same degree as me, but he was always a year ahead of me. So a module would come and be like, okay, cool, man, Lou, what do I need to know for this module? And then he said, okay, cool, focus on this, focus on that.
You
There's
give me too much
power.
credit. You're quite smart.
No, I'm lit too. You are very smart. I'm lit too. I helped him too with a couple things. I'm lit too. But like, not facts. He did. But he told me the importance of understanding what you're doing. And I really struggled with the concept of understanding your work. For me, it's like I was always trying to tick a box,
Yeah,
get
you
it
wanna
done.
pass.
I was trying to like basically get the
Yeah,
test
Thato
took
will
in.
always be like, "Ejo, how do I do thermodynamics? How do you do this, Joe? I just want to figure out what this V is for." I'm like, dog, even if I told you what this V is for, if you don't know where it came from,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because they're going to switch the question up and you're going to be confused.
Yeah, but for me, like engineering was for my dad and my parents. Yeah,
You really think so?
Yeah, I've never had an urge to be an engineer.
What would have been the alternative?
I
It
wa-
was up to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. if you're-
I can. I wanted to be a pilot. Then my dad was like, "If you
Pilot?
become a pilot, you won't have a stable family, like because you
Yes,
obviously always
that's-
gonna,
that's
always gonna, yeah, you're always gonna be in the sky. Your wife's gonna be there. Your kids. Then I'm like, dude, why are you assuming I even wanted family? I was really good in accounting. Like I am really good in accounting.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an accountant as well. Then he was like, I did that. Why would you do what I did?
Damn.
You need to up level. So yeah, I would have
you
been
went
a
through a
pilot.
lot of the conversation.
Yeah, so I wanted to be either a pilot or someone in the commerce space.
That's right.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
crazy.
What did you want to be?
Growing up,
Yeah.
only struggle finding out. Like I would never like have a firm decision of what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I think you still don't know what you're gonna be now, ne?
Yeah, I wanna.
That's okay.
No. Like
Yeah.
I wanna do as much good as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing more, and I want to have an impact. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be felt.
Purpose.
Yeah, I want purpose. I don't like I said. I want to be useful.
I get that.
Yeah.
This man's giving, looking from Jolo answers.
I want to be great. I want to be a provider for people's lives. Sheena, how did you get up the comms side?
Snap. Growing up, I always wanted to be an inventor, then a superstar, and then a doctor. And I went to a hospital. And I was like, I hate this joint. I was like grade 4 or something. I was just like, yeah, I just want to work with computers because that's the future.
Yeah,
It's the future.
Shane, we've been
I like
speaking
that.
a lot about like
you guys are saying sorry, Thato. Computers are the future. But why are you guys losing so many jobs?
Losing jobs. People lose jobs regardless.
Yeah, man, but it's at a massive scale.
It's also a bad market right now. Like,
Yeah. Especially the trust in the market we
are
in.
going into like a recession soon.
Okay,
Yeah.
sharp. Fair. The market is bad. Nah? But the rate at which that sector is losing job is far more than the other guys.
Is that the case?
That
Like
would-
if we had to look at the rate at
we need
which
to
we
verify
fact
this.
check?
yeah, we might need to verify.
Yeah,
I
but
think
then-
people are losing
but-
jobs in general.
Generally.
It just so
But-
happens that there are certain areas that are being highlighted more than others because of the boom.
Let me
There's
phrase it like
there's
this.
been like a computer boom with the AI data science situation.
Let me phrase it like this.
Okay.
Growing up, like you just said now, the future is this.
Yeah.
Yo, Joe, I grew up to know that that market is resilient.
Yeah.
Even when we went to high school, it was a thing like, yo, dog, if you want a job, you want to do these technical low things. You want to be in the computer space. And then we saw that for a while. We saw when maybe first year, second year, we started seeing that, hey, homies really can work at Facebook and have, what do you call this? I saw these things,
what is-
unlimited leave days.
Yeah,
Type
and
of
nap
thing.
pots.
And yeah, and then niggas are taking naps at work.
Sounds like the future.
To me, that sounded very infeasible. Like it's because you have 8 hours of work to do.
Yeah.
And then I feel like 4 hours of those 8 hours you are not productive at all. And there's a case to be made that you are resting and you're.
Yeah.
But the answer is you are sitting down and you did nothing, and you're getting a large sum of money for it. And I just think that's infeasible.
what I can say is, well, speaking from my experience, we have flexi hours.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you have to deliver 8 hours.
With
you
the
can
work.
take you can take breaks in between. You can do what you want.
Oh, and that's fine.
But
Oh,
your
okay.
work has to reflect
you have to do
That's
your
how it
job.
works.
Yeah. You don't have to be there for 8 hours if you're
Yeah,
done.
it's deliverables.
Yeah.
So some people can deliver something that's going to take somebody 8 hours in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you're going to milk because they expect that in 8 hours.
But I'm sorry, I'm not in the space.
Yeah.
So I know terms like billable hours.
Yeah.
I'm assuming if I'm gonna do a timesheet or a time, what do you call it? Timestamp.
Yeah, like a timesheet. Yeah.
So if you have billable hours, if it took you an hour,
Yeah.
why would you say it took you an hour if somebody else was gonna do it in 8?
Have you
see
seen
where
that?
the ineffective?
Have you seen that thing where they have like a mechanic
Yeah.
and he does like a simple job, like just turns on.
or you pay for the skills and all
Yeah,
this stuff.
it's exactly
That's what
that.
it is.
Okay. So
because it's like in that space, not like because of practice and applying yourself and learning so many things, your understanding of things makes it too easy for you to not easy, but it makes it better or makes you more efficient at solving problems.
Yeah.
So you you're kind of getting paid back for that time you spend on your own account learning or mastering that skill.
I can appreciate
Then
that.
technically it's still 8 hours because I might have just spent those 8 hours at a different time.
Yeah.
But it would have taken me 8 hours to do this if I didn't do that.
Okay.
But it takes me 2 now, and I need to indulge in that luxury.
Yeah, but flexi hour sounds nice, guys. Hey.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be like, yo, I'll be right back. Go do a shoot or a radio interview,
Yeah.
come back.
And I'm still at work. Oh, guys, go to school, guys. Do engineering and stuff.
I kind of have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, if somehow time travel existed
Yeah.
and you could go back in time and see your high school self, say you in grade 8, what do you think they would think of you right now, and what would you have to say to them?
Oh,
My grade 8 me would be like, oh, so many girls.
That was a joke from my side. That was a joke from my side.
We are going there. I'd be like, my boy, just do your thing. We're going there.
Yeah. That's a great question, eh? I never really thought about it, but I hope I would be proud. It's just one of those things. Like, I hope I would be proud.
Don't you think you would be?
I think you agree.
I think I'm-
Like, I'm just thinking about it. Like, a little you would probably be like, yo, that's my whip. This is where I live. That's how I look now. That's what I look like.
Crazy. No, we spoke about it.
I got a beard.
I do. Yeah.
Out of all the things I got a beard.
You know what's crazy? Because we did speak about it recently. Well,
Yeah.
personally. It was the other day I came back from a long day of work. And then I'm like, I'm actually living my childhood dream.
Yeah.
Like I go home and I do absolutely what I want to do. And I don't have to report to anyone.
Yeah.
What time is it? Where am I?
Yeah.
I don't even know where the night is gonna end. And I'm proud of the fact that I can take care of this.
Yeah.
It's a system that great question. I'm gonna be proud.
Shout
I'll be
out.
proud. I want to think about it a little bit more. What would you feel?
Man, I always used to grow up because everyone was telling me I'm cute. So I'd be like, yo, am I going to fall off when I grow up?
Do I get the concern?
As it stands, we're still looking good.
Yeah, shout out.
But he'd be super proud, man. Like, I think it gives me hope right now for me
Yeah.
in 10 years' time or 15 years' time to say, yo, we can still do it.
Damn. I never thought about it like that.
Actually, now you mention it.
Yeah, we good.
You know what's crazy? A lot of like older people that I come across, and like let's say I'll be talking about something, they'll be like, my boy, you are doing great. Because where you are right now with what's happening, trust me, it could be worse on so many occasions.
That's so true.
It's and I don't want to sound like a socialist, but it's what do you
My thing is, why do you kind of set yourself up before we get to it?
And I don't want to call it a red race as well, but we lose ourselves in trying to fetch that thing. You
Yeah.
want to be better.
Yeah.
And I think the longer you do that for, the harder it is to actually go out and reflect and say, hey, I've actually done okay. I'm not saying I've done exceptionally well.
Yeah.
I've done okay. I have food in my stomach. I have shelter. I have a nice car.
And that's in a way like how school has sort of shaped my thinking.
Yeah.
Because remember, in school we have like terms, and in between terms you get breaks and you have your exam and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking at life the same way. Like, there are going to be seasons where it feels like introductory. You're going to have to learn something. You're going to suck at it.
Yeah.
There's going to be a time where you're going to be tested on how much you've learned in that experience.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a time to rest.
Yeah.
That's so
in
true.
the same light, I've thought about it from a different position, in the sense that I always give myself 3 years for things.
Yeah.
Like, it always takes me 3 years to go through the full cycle.
Seasonality.
That seasonality. That
Yeah.
whatever shape it takes. But like for 3 years, I know that for a certain period, it's new. Everything's new to me.
Yeah.
Then after that, it's now I understand a few bits and pieces. I can now figure things out. Then finally, it's the mastery, where you can now see how everything comes together. And then I expect myself to be more flexible than I was. So that is actually like one way. That's a cool way to look at it, and that put it together.
And I'm keen to see where the podcast is going to be at in 2 years. I'm sure we're going to cringe when we watch these episodes in 2 years.
You reckon?
I cringe at the ones that are out. Yeah, sit down. Our Malomes Mic. like the first few episodes.
No, I get
I don't know.
that.
I don't know.
I actually like those because they're still recent. Like it's more than. But I don't know. I don't
cringe.
I don't cringe. Like it's for me.
Okay, I'm very systematic. Like for me, it's like I know we've got a topic. I know we need to stick to the topic. Like him pulling through with the school now, I was still like, wow, you sound like me. Like he's able to link the topic with what we're doing.
Yeah.
'Cause a lot of the time we easily have a conversation about a certain topic and then we go far, which is okay. But sometimes we always need to come back and center back.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing that as we've been doing the podcast, I've been more chilled.
Yeah.
And you guys are also centering back a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's growth. It's
Yeah.
growth.
It
Technically
is.
speaking.
See,
it is
we're
growth.
going through that cycle.
Yeah.
Look at us.
And then
Yeah.
Cycle.
We're on what? One.
We're on
8
maturity.
months.
Damn.
and
It's like a product life
That's
cycle.
Really dope, yo.
Yeah.
That's
That's
It's
8
been
months.
3 months.
Really dope.
8.
8 months of
How do
podcast.
you not know?
We started in like what, March?
You know my
When
thing.
did we start?
You know, I don't look at time. Like I don't have an appreciation of time in a way. Like looking back, like
especially,
I'm
especially after school, no?
yeah. No, it was almost anything. Like I'm not like somebody will ask me, how long have we known each other? And I'll be like, I don't know, since forever.
Yeah, but that's different because it's a long time.
Yeah, but despite that, like even now when he said, I don't know how long we've been doing this podcasting thing for.
Yeah, but yeah.
9
Like,
months.
9 months.
9 months.
I'm
That's
shocked at that.
Do you feel like you spend time reflecting on like your life or just stuff in general?
No, I just keep rocking.
Are you CPFing life? Like,
I just rock. Like for me, it's on to the next. What am I need
Bro,
to do
I've
next?
been doing this new thing. I've been meditating every day.
I tried a bit.
I told you
trust
niggas
me, like,
about
breathing
journaling.
exercises.
No. Don't meditate and just breathe. Like that. I don't like that.
I be breathing.
I meditate.
I breathe great now.
I play really good like meditation music.
Yeah.
Then I think about my day. What do I want my day to look like? How do I want my week to look like?
Yeah.
What have I done in the previous day? And what do I want the next 6 months to look like? And then I basically manifest all those things into my body, bro. And that shit just gives me like a crazy work ethic.
beautiful.
Yeah.
You try
You
that.
should definitely you should try it. Don't just do it to breathe and relax. We can do other
I be
things to
breathing.
relax. You know how we relax.
Yeah.
How do you guys do that?
Yeah, you also know how we relax.
Back outside, boys.
No, but I don't. One thing because the thing is, I thought journaling was lame. That thing works, eh?
What is
Yo.
lame?
Journaling.
It triggers me too
Oh.
much, bro.
Yeah, you see, I'm easily triggered too. I haven't done that either. Yeah, you know, what's crazy? I'm so sensitive to like reflection and things like that. I once walked into like you know at UP they used to have these exam preparatory classes.
Yeah.
I once walked into one of those and like I remember it was like engineering 3 in the dungeon and we were chilling there and she was like going off with these like PowerPoint slides and telling you what you should have done or what you should do and as she's speaking, right, I'm thinking about all the things she's mentioning that I haven't done and the exam is like a week. It's like a week from now. That was the first time in my life I got a panic attack and I lost it. That's when I realized that, you know what, I don't like looking back because I'm rather focused on
What's next?
dealing with what's coming then, because if I sit there, right, I'm just going to ponder so long on how I messed
like
up
he's
to get
triggered.
here. How much I've messed up to get here. I went to the garden. I had to chill. I had to center
But in
myself.
school, when you got to term 2, did you throw away the notes you made in term 1?
Burn it.
Yo.
Oh no, not term, years.
Yeah.
But I mean, years is fine, but terms is
I
like,
needed it.
you're gonna
'cause,
need it.
Yeah, I need it for the final exam.
That's kind of like how I feel about life. Like,
Okay.
it's all terms, bro. Like, you're gonna have to sit down and look at, okay, cool, this is where I came from and where I am at right now.
Yeah.
If I want to head in this direction, am I really going there or am I vying off like a different path? I feel like that's where reflection helps you.
No, I get that. I'm not necessarily saying that I don't look. I just don't scrutinize it. I am aware of where I was and where I am now in relation to that and how I got here.
Yeah.
I know what I had to do and I keep lessons in mind. Like I'm very systematic in like keeping record of what did I do right to get here. So say for example, now I'm doing like my masters and I remember like things or techniques I did.
That's
in-
some shout out. That's a master's with an M.
But like, yeah, I think about lessons I learned in undergrad. Like, how did I finally make it out of undergrad? What systems I had to change, how I should approach situations. Because I had this thing, you know, when they started saying fly at UP, at first we didn't care about it until I actually like paid attention. I'm like, if I get 65% minimum for my semester mark, I can get away with like
A 14.
With like a 14 the exam. I can like get out. So it's less pressure on me if that's all that's required.
I mean, there's
so
less
now
pressure,
I
you
take
perform
that
better.
those lessons and things like that. I keep them in mind moving forward. The only thing I don't do is go back and dwell and be like, on things, especially things that I did wrong or what I failed at, and be like, how did I do that? Or maybe why was that so bad? Or why was that situation so terrible? So I think what I must make clear is that when I say that I don't look back, I necessarily pick and choose what I look back at.
Okay.
So it's more, I don't like the bad. I just want the good without I want my cake and eat it.
You know what's the advantage of actually keeping record of the bad?
Yeah.
So now you know where your shortcomings are. You know what your triggers are. You know, okay, this is what, if I do this and this happens, I should avoid that.
I feel like I fixed those. I want the lessons of how I fixed those.
But how do you evaluate that you did fix it?
Because it was a bad moment.
Yeah.
Yes, I was. Let's say I'd failed at something.
Yeah.
I was aware that I failed.
Yeah.
But that failure stopped at the point when I started looking back to say, okay, how did I get here and how can I move forward? What can I improve from this point forward moving?
Yeah.
And then once I get that intel on how to move forward, I take that piece and keep that. Why should I dwell on this? Because I solved that problem. I'm aware of the solution to the problem. If I ever come across that problem again, I will just apply the same solution. Yeah. And if it stops working, I need to evaluate why it stopped working. Maybe conditions changed. But those ones I solved, I don't want to dwell on what I solved.
I hear what you're
just
saying.
the lesson.
This man's already doing a master's in industrial engineering.
No, I'm actually doing a master's in computer science. It's like in data science.
That's hard.
I be doing algorithms and shit.
Hey man, that's really cool, bro.
Yeah, I listen to you talk about this stuff and I'm like, shit, I like that.
Yeah, but this is a really cool episode, guys. I'm gonna keep this one short because we have to.
Go studio time. Now I feel like a rapper.
For real.
It's studio time. Like
wrap
now we gotta feel like rappers. Like we got like 2 hours of studio time, and then like we gotta be like quick. So it's not cool.
Can I have an opportunity to be a fan? Because I'm a genuine. You know I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I need.
Remember when you had braids?
I
remember very well.
Oh, you guys can like bond. When they get braids.
I had dreadlocks. I don't have braids, but I've had braids before. Though.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah. Is that you? Are you done?
No, he's not.
Questions. I'm just trying to figure out which one to start with. What's your favorite song you've made?
Damn.
Oh, what's the song you like the most now?
I'm gonna give you an answer probably a lot of parents use.
Yeah.
But they're all
my favorite. I know my mom likes me more.
That's your brother would be happy about that.
Snap.
Okay,
Like,
let me rephrase the question. Your most meaningful song to you.
Rephrase it to make it worse.
most meaningful song. It's one I did in this series just now, and I even forgot what it's called.
The series or the song?
Both. But it was speaking on, like, you know, we all go through dark times and it gets really tough in life, but you know, sun will shine again.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's always been. It's one of the other things that I've been envious about. I think musicians and creatives have this refined ability to express themselves. And you get to see it when people actually relate to the music. That, oh, you actually saying things that people wanted to say or people wanted to hear, but they couldn't say it. So I think in a sense, that's why I asked which one is the most meaningful one. I was just trying to understand that when you do make songs or you make music, what message are you trying to get out there?
For me personally, it's love.
Yeah. But you also understand how hard it is for niggas to talk. You see how hard it is to talk about it as well.
Yeah.
Just casually. It's always hard. It's always, especially when it comes to R&B songs.
Yeah.
You get to hear that actually niggas love.
Bruh.
Like
But also it's weird being in the studio and it's just gents, man. And you're recording a song like, I'm gonna break your back. And niggas is like, yo, it's fire. You're like, what part is fire? But like, honestly, you've never struck me as a person that's failed to express themselves. Maybe you're not doing it in a conventional entertainment space, but bro, you're a dope human being.
Shout out, thanks. I appreciate
that.
that.
Yeah.
Fan of a fan.
Drop a mixtape. I breezy.
Nah, but I always do the thank yous at the end. Nah?
Yeah.
But thank you for coming on. We appreciate the time.
I just wanted to ask, do you have anything coming up like anytime soon?
Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Do you?
I have lots coming up. I've been.
You're telling me about some music. You wanted to send me some
There's
shit.
some music. We just dropped Love Candy.
Yeah.
And that's like a prelude to. Shout out Junior Tourist for real. That man's a genius, bro.
Nah, shout out to Junior.
Shout out Junior.
For real.
And shout out to you, my nigga.
Fire, man. Thank you. It's a prelude to the album Crush, which is it's been rolling out for 2 years now. Thank you, COVID.
Yeah, shout
But
out.
yeah, there's that, and there's another character like I've been working on.
Oh.
You know me, like I'm
Yeah.
I'm in the multiverse of madness right now.
Yeah.
It's really fun expressing myself like that.
I think there's one thing I like about your music and your stuff, because you get into character for whatever you're working on at that time.
Yeah.
'Cause when you were doing the, what is it,
Samsung.
Samsung.
Yeah.
When you're doing Samsung, you were in character. The shots, you made sure you get all those, and
Yeah.
it blended perfectly with the tape. Because when you listen to the tape,
No, that's an artist.
you know,
Yeah,
and
it's
I think
artistic.
seeing that and listening to the music makes me appreciate the artistry, everything. Like you actually, it's not just about recording a tape and then here you go. It's like recording a tape and then I'm also going to look at how I'm going to deliver it to you,
Yeah.
how I package it, all that whole experience.
Yeah.
And when we receive it as people listening to it, we feel it exactly like
Yeah,
that.
and we appreciate
we
it.
appreciate that effort.
Yeah.
Who I call as a banger, by the way. I was hoping you'd say that. Yeah, but it's fine.
I figured you wanted him to say something you like.
specific. But many songs are mistakes, and it's like for me, like a lot of, or rather, let me take a step back. My dilemma was I could make all these genres,
Yeah.
and a lot of people came up to me like, "What artist are you?"
Yeah.
And it got really tough saying, "Well, I do everything." So
Yeah.
I had to kind of create these pockets and new characters to contextualize
That's
Yeah.
really
a new genre. And it makes releasing even more fun for me. I don't want this to be an interview, but hey.
No, we're having a chat.
Even something like Love Candy. Like me and Taurus literally locked in 1 November 2020.
That's crazy.
One night. We just passed them out like that.
Damn.
I lived with those songs for 2 years. I have this like wine theory I go with. Like if my songs, if I can listen to my songs a year or two afterwards and I
Yeah.
still mess with it, it's a
It's
good
a banger.
song. So releasing it now is just like, I'm kind of tired of the songs. So love them, but let's make it exciting for me too, so that people can feel that energy when we roll it out.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope.
I could go on if you guys want.
No,
me.
you can wrap up. You can wrap up.
Should I wrap up?
Yeah.
Shout out to Unirams.
Thank you guys for having me. I thought we were gonna do this for life.
For the whole day.
Oh, we can rock,
Shout
but
out.
it's studio time.
Yeah, hopefully we chat again in a few
Yeah.
months again
Yeah.
and circumstances have changed. Maybe you dropped. Maybe you got that masters.
Ish.
Hey, man.
1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's very beautiful to grow with other people. And again, luck. You did nothing to have friends like this.
Me and Matadi always have this conversation. It's always a back and
No,
forth.
we've had
He
this
says-
argument for 10 years.
for 10 years going. And he says luck. I say it's just
Yeah.
situations you can't really pinpoint.
You're really scientific in your thinking. I've realized.
I try my best to articulate
Thanks for watching, guys.
Shout out to everybody watching and
if Lucas
listening
starts
on all
speaking.
platforms. You guys have been great. We love you guys. Shout out. Drop some comments,
Thank you for
please. Let us
watching.
know what you like about this platform and what you'd like us to improve. And you guys ask for guests, and that's what we've been doing. Look at us listening. So thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the love. And we hope you're creating value. Shout out. You are loved. Peace.